so it's no fun to just go without the kids and the wife, but I also couldn't do the whole, like last time we took them because we can travel freely because of 2 passports, so I can do without worrying about all kinds of
Can I have that Israeli one?
So you have 3?
Oh, this is just the idea.
Oh, okay. I saw that. I thought 3.
But yeah, I'm always into this symbol. This is a real symbol of Israel, which is actually not the Star of David or whatever. It's actually the menorah, light of God's presence, and what I believe is Israel and the nations feeding that menorah.
The 7 candlesticks.
Yeah, that's you can see it. You want to pass it on? You can
Yes,
see
pass it
because I
around,
actually
then.
was thinking about it, and even the American one has these the one branch. They're holding the one branch.
Oh.
Really?
Of the 2 branches. You see they're holding the one.
Oh,
The eagle's
yeah.
got the one side of it.
Wow.
Oh, that's right, it does.
I hope
And
that stays
so-
on there.
Yeah, sure. So it's got the, it's holding the one side. And so, I don't know, I just was thinking about this. I'm like, this is the 2 sides of my heart. And God's doing something connecting both of these. And, it's holding the one side of it. And Israel's got the other side. And it is Israel and the nations. Throughout the whole Bible is about Israel and the nations joining together. It's never been about, Israel's doing its thing and that's cool and yay, go guys. No, it's how are they working together? How is it working together for His presence to be filling the world? And it's not like God's just going to go and fill the world with His presence. It's like we have to do our part.
Yeah,
He could just do His, do it without us, but that's not the way it works. This whole life is about,
It's the branch.
it's about doing,
Don't lose your
Yeah, I don't like it.
Oh, where'd your
Just
Israeli
stay here.
pepper go, huh?
Make sure Steve gives it back to you.
Well, I just changed the picture.
He's about willing to do anything to sneak in.
Yeah.
We even talked about going to Egypt and getting the camel and going across.
I mean,
Swimming the Red Sea if we have to.
Jordan and go through the Jordan crossing or whatever.
I think he's kind of crazy
But-
right now.
You know what I
To do
could
that.
do? I could do this. Might be fun. Let me just see for fun. Now, some of this, like I have a bunch of different things that I share sometimes, but I just was thinking that this is kind of for some of you. Some of you know some of this stuff, some of you don't. But let's just see if it's works.
Okay.
Boom. Okay, so so the United States is connected with the Galilee of the nations, and it for sure is. Boom, doesn't work on that. It's for sure connected with, and I can prove that through the history of how Israel was actually reborn, and that's through Truman and that whole thing. And but anyway, so some of you have seen some of this, but so my name's Chaim. I call myself Chaim the Galilean, and I didn't live all my life in the Galilee. I was born in the United States, and born in the United States, born in Corvallis, Oregon, and then my older brother was born in Blue Island, Illinois, Corvallis, Oregon. Other brother, Toronto, Canada. Other sister, Vancouver, BC.
My goodness.
Other brother was sister, Philadelphia.
Oh my God.
And then other brother, Alliance, Ohio.
How many brothers and sisters?
So we're
do you
6
have?
of us. 6 of us. Yeah, and I have
What are the
3.
differences?
Well, my dad was a builder. He would build houses out of wood. And then when we made our immigration to Israel, we realized that they don't really use wood too much because it's really expensive, and now it's even more expensive. And but then he had to go become a chef. But my point is, we would travel a lot, and we were like the wandering Jews, I called ourselves.
That's where that came from.
Yeah.
At least you weren't in the wilderness.
No, I know. Yeah, and so living in Canada some of the time. Now we're living in a very crazy time with propaganda. I realize propaganda, I think, isn't a new battle. It's not something new because of social media. They were like, Jews are the enemy. It was a propaganda war. And I was thinking of it when I was looking at this. I'm like, this is very horrible to see Jewish bodies there, very horrible. But I was thinking, what about this guy? What's this guy doing? What's this guy doing? What are these people doing? They're just kind of not getting involved, just standing by, and that's not good to just be standing by. This country and it's a time of unification. I was talking last about Gideon unifying the remnant. The few, not about big numbers, not about big conferences, not about Billy Graham stadiums. It's the few. Gideon's few which is better than the big numbers, which is what we learned from the story of Gideon. God said 35,000,
Yeah.
and then the 10,000. No, I don't want those guys. I don't want it. I want the few. And so there was a few founders of America. Some of you've already seen this thing. Sorry.
No.
But so a few founders of America, and they were on their knees praying. It's a Judeo-Christian country here, and based on Judeo-Christian values, aka the Bible, based on the Bible.
They would
Based-
never show that in school now. No.
They wouldn't, huh? And this is the first prayer in Congress, right over here, Philadelphia, not too far away. And they're seeking God, and that's what makes America great.
Wow.
And actually, what makes America great isn't necessarily any leaders. There's leaders that can ruin it for things and leaders that can help things. But what is people seeking God and like that. People like these guys, whether they were in a position of leadership or not, they were seeking God, and that is really the remnant rallying together makes it good. Leaders are good, leaders are bad. Don't put all our faith in any one leader, Now this, anyone know what this is? You guys seen this before?
Crossing of
This
the
is-
Red Sea.
Well, indeed, but what is it? It's Benjamin Franklin's seal of the United States. It's the original proposed seal, which is an Aliyah story.
History lesson.
Yeah, this is the original seal of the United States with the pillar of fire. See, it is. And God, because they said, well, we're the Puritans, and Thanksgiving's coming up. So I was
Yes.
like, hey, we're the Puritans. We went through water to escape from tyranny. We want to go and worship God, because didn't Moses say, "Let my people go so they can worship me"?
Yes.
Not just let my people go. Let my people go so they can worship me freely. So that's what we Puritans wanted, to let my people go, and that's why we're so thankful that we can have Thanksgiving and worship. And it's an Aliyah story. It's crossing into a land of freedom. So he said, we identify really with the story of Israel. Benjamin Franklin was like, we should have this. It would have been cool if it would have been the
Yeah.
symbol.
Would have been cool.
I don't know what this is. So in Israel, it's the same thing. This is just a quick shot of the wall. But in Israel, there is a desire for more of God's presence. That's why they're getting closer to pray at the wall, because everybody's like saying, why are they doing this? Because they want, not just they have to, there is a desire to get closer to that house of prayer, that Isaiah 56, that Amos 9 verse 11. It is their desire. And that is the desire that makes a nation great, a yearning, a longing for God. And so what time are we living in? We're in a time of this, what I call it the watershed moment. A watershed moment is a cool way to say like a Jordan River moment. It's a moment that you either the nation goes one way or another. Now people were saying that back since the 1800s and the 1600s. They were saying it all the time. But we really are in a time where the believers are coming together and they're getting strengthened, and the enemies coming together and getting strengthened. And we're positioned for this time. We don't need a time machine. We don't need to be in the time of Joshua or the time of Gideon or the time of Benjamin Franklin. We are right now because we're supposed to be now. And I think it's good for us to be content with, I'm glad I'm alive for right now. This is a tough time. They had tough times. Yeshua had tough times. We have tough times. But we're alive for when all the cloud of witnesses are saying, this is what we were waiting for.
Come on.
This time. And the whole Hebrews 11 verse 39, and they couldn't complete it without us. They're waiting for us to do our part. We were talking in the car, how Steve and I, and all of us, about we want to be the big revival. We are the revival. We are the big numbers. We are the big success. We are pretty much the best. Well, we have to do our little part as the remnant. The one guy, you think of Gideon, you don't think of the one guy that was there with a torch too. I also have a torch here. You just don't know my name. I'm Shimon. I'm over here in the group too. Hey, why am I not getting enough credit? No. I'm also fighting here, and so that you see what I mean. It's kind of foolish to always want to be the big revival. We are supposed to do our part and be
Exactly.
faithful in our part, and God will do. The big Jericho will fall once we Rally. So this whole term I use all the time, rally the remnant,
Huh.
it is what I believe is that it's not about just the next big leader. It's about the remnant, the 300 coming and being purified and saying, well, no, we're ready to go the distance and whatever. So forging the Jordan and all that, what is it called? Crossing over. It's happened with Julius Caesar when he made a decision which is uncomfortable, an irreversible decision. That's what crossing the Rubicon means. Forging the Jordan, watershed moment. All these cool terms are all about a decision point where there's no return. Even for a bad choice, is Hitler deciding to go into Russia to invade in winter time Russia. That was a no going back from that moment. So I think we're in that. If we're not there, we're very close to a crossing the Rubicon moment, or a forging the Jordan moment, or a watershed moment. That's what I believe. And so that is, we see that the devil's not hiding anymore. This is in Canada now.
Oh my gosh.
This is their training
What
in
is
Canada
that?
school.
What is that?
This is the.
Gender
Yeah, I can't even keep up anymore. Here's when I knew that things are really bad, because there's, what is it, lesbian, gay, I don't know what, bisexual.
Gender queer.
Yeah, but this is the really bad, trans something, and then there's two-spirit. And I was like, you're telling me one of those is called two-spirit?
Yeah,
Yeah, one of it, is that a joke? And they're like,
Two-spirit,
no,
it's
it's
on
called
there.
two-spirit. It is one of them is called two-spirit. And I
it's called
think,
gender fluid. It's like, which,
No, it's
yeah,
like.
that's another thing that with a T is
I've
called
got
two-spirit. And I
a
said,
demon
that's too much. I said, I can handle all those letters, maybe.
A demon?
But I can't handle two-spirit. It just means they have a spirit of a woman or a man, and it changes. I was like, you're not even,
Oh my
you're not at
God.
all